I hope you're having a great day, an amazing time. My name is Mo, and this is Mo Games, and we have a very simple goal with what we do here. We set out to explore as many games as possible and to simply just enjoy them and understand them and experience them because there are so many quality creations out there to explore. And in this series, we are doing a Let's Try of Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. Now, if you haven't watched my previous videos, go back and watch those. I really do kind of set the stage for what this build is. Give you a quick kind of catch up. This is a character I've made for my very first playthrough. This is a new game +3 character. We are still in the opening environment, the opening area of Shadow of the Erdtree. I'm loving this game so far. I have no complaints. To be fair, I've played all of the Souls games, all the FromSoft games, and I have loved every one of them. I am loving what this game is offering right now. Again, we are still very early in this gameplay, in this Let's Try, and so I'm not making any definitive claims, but just to kind of call it how it is, I'm loving it. Guys, let me know what you're thinking. If you're playing this game, let me know what your experience is so far. I'm kind of following chatter that's out there, and a lot of people, there's this back and forth on, is it too hard, or it's exactly what it's meant to be. And I think I'm too early to kind of like throw my hat in that ring. Not that I even want to. Again, I said this, I believe, back in my first video. We all derive joy from this game in different ways. And who knows, maybe this game will be too difficult and it will bum me out. But I really think the way it's going so far, I'm going to love it. I hope you're loving it. I hope you're loving this Let's Try. Besides that, guys, if you enjoy what's going on here, if you want to be part of this community, if you want to go on this adventure with us, like, subscribe, share, let me know. What games do you want to see me play? I have a couple in my mind lined up. I have a couple ideas. We'll get to those down the road. If you're a fan of the channel, check out my Blood Let's Try. I'm loving that game so much. And if you're a fan of 90s cartoons and over-the-top animations, it's the game for you. Go check it out. Besides that, something I wanted to do, and I mentioned this in the last video, is I wanted to sit there and upgrade. I wanted to slowly start experimenting and bringing in elements of the DLC, right? I don't want to just stick with the loadout I've been using. I actually wanted to experiment. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave here, and we actually are going to go to the table of Lost Grace, and we are going to go make some upgrades to our equipment, specifically to our weapons. Now, in the last episode, I did get some new armor that I forgot to check out, and I want to go ahead and do that now before I forget again. We've looked at the Armor of Solitude right here. Gravebird armor. Stone armor with a tinge of green. One of a set of armor pieces cast in the image of the Gravebird. Gravebirds are ancient golems created to guard the spirit graves built where all manners of death ultimately drift. Something that I've noticed is there's a lot of golems. That word's being used a lot. Not a lot of the enemies, but multiple enemies have golem. You know, I guess golem being a construct in its most simplest sense. You know, I know golem has such a dense mythological, even religious. To my knowledge, I believe golem actually roots itself in like Judaism, if I'm remembering correctly. I may be wrong on that. Regardless if it's rooted in religion or not, it's definitely rooted in a lot of mythology and essentially fantasy. But I'm curious why we're seeing that terminology pop up so much here. Maybe we'll find out later. I'll go ahead and try this on. Let's see. I don't have any other aspects of the Gravebird armor. Let's just... All right, I believe this is actually the first time you guys are seeing my character without the armor on. Yeah. And real quick, I did want to show you this, just for those who may be unsure, get a quick look at this. But yeah, this is Esmeralda. This is the character I started my very first playthrough with, and I'm continuing out here. Let's see, looking at the stats, I mean, definitely much lighter than the armor I'm used to carrying. Yeah, and by always leaps and bounds. Again, I think it's one of those things where you play what you're comfortable with. Any of these armor sets is perfectly viable to beat the game with. And that's what I love about this. This game and this series really doesn't demand a certain kind of build. Now, of course, there's always builds that do better. There's always situational builds where you might wear something for a certain aspect or a certain boss, certain enemy. But what I do love about this game is you don't have to do any of that, right? I think we call it fashion souls, right? We can just kind of wear what we want to wear and what makes us feel powerful or fast or just cool. And all builds are viable, which is an aspect of this game I deeply, deeply love. For now, I think I want to stick with the armor that I have been wearing, but something I do want to try out is the new weapons I've picked up.
Well, where have you been hiding? I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms then.
Alright guys, so after some tinkering with my build, I decided to go ahead and make the hammer kind of my object of focus. As you see, I went and took my black silk gray hammer to plus 25. The reason I chose this one, again, I'm flirting with the gray katana. I went and took that to plus 20. But the reason I'm using the black silk gray hammer is it already really melds so well with the build I have created up until this point. The gray katana has a blood loss effect, which I love blood loss. And honestly, I think it's one of the best things to have on a weapon. However, my arcane is super high. You see, my arcane is 22, which could be better. And so I'm not necessarily the most optimal or maybe what I believe to be a comfortable like build for blood loss. I think my goal is to work towards that. That being the case, the hammer kind of fit right in. So we'll try this. We'll give this a go. I'm also eyeing up the backhand blades. Those is just a whole style of combat. It's very interesting to me. And I may even try the perfume bottles and see how those go. Besides that, I do want to save some of my crafting components for any other weapons I get down the road. So we're gonna stick with this. We're gonna head back. And so last time we left off right here, the Rune Forge lava intake. Something I actually noticed in my edit of the last video, I want to go ahead and go here, is when I fought the Ghost Flame Dragon, I kind of very quickly scoured the area real quick and kind of just kept moving. And in the edit of that video, so while I was editing the video, I noticed this cave, at least what it looked to be a cave from my video, that I did not go explore. And I was like, well, surely I would have saw that if it was real, if it was there. But I really do think I missed this. It also makes so much sense why all these cages were there. I had that thought, I know I didn't say it in the video. I was curious why all these cages were here, and it's like, duh, it makes a direct trail to this cave that I see now. Now, I should notice the first time, and I didn't, but here we are. Let's explore what this place has to offer us. All right, Bellarat goal. Gale. Oh, I'm curious. I'm not familiar with the word. Does it mean like prison? Oh, wow. Very nice. All right. I'm already vibing with the place. The aesthetic is really cool. I hate that. Something and you guys may have this thought too. I do this a lot where my physical reaction is a lot more visceral than my verbal one. Maybe there's reason for it, maybe there's not. However, something I do notice a lot is I will react a very particular way. And what I mean by that is, like, verbally, I verbalize in a lot different way than maybe I physically react. My wife actually pointed this out to me when, after one of my videos, she was kind of laughing and said like, she was laughing at me because something was jump scared me. I jumped, but all you could hear was me saying, "That scared me." And I was trying to explain that my reaction was super intense. Like, it actually did jump scare me. I just didn't have the verbal reaction to it. Let me know. Does that make sense to any of y'all? Do you guys have those same things happen? Or is it just me? Ugh. Okay. Bonk. Bonk. You know, I'm digging this. I never used a hammer of any kind in the base game. So I'm excited for all this bonking. Frozen maggot. Yum. Oh. I'm curious why all these clay pots are here. What the lore significance of that is. Maybe there is no, well, I was gonna say maybe there is no significance. That's not true. You know, I think this game really helped me realize something about game development. I think when I was younger, simply due to just the fact that I was just immature in terms of knowing what it really took to create a game and the time and skill it goes into game making. I think a lot of times I thought games were basically more shallow. I thought games were maybe more shallow in terms of their content and their lore, and things weren't ever that deep. And it was games like Elden Ring, games like Bloodborne, games like, I mean, kind of off the top of my head, like the whole Final Fantasy series, the remake of Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII. You know, these were games that over my lifetime have kind of chipped away at my understanding of game development. Tell me, realize games can be, they don't have to be by no means, but they can be very complex. And I say all of that to wrap around to my point and say, I wonder why these pots are here. Surely there's a lore reason, and I may figure it out and I may not. But it is interesting to consider why they're here, because they're not just random. I think a younger me would have said these are random, you know, they're just here to like make the environment interesting, maybe give you a thought and then let that thought pass. But knowing what I know about, you know, FromSoft, knowing what I know about how the game's been developed up to this point, there is a reason. And honestly, I think that adds so much value and life to the game, because not just is the gameplay itself phenomenal, but there is a reason to invest in the lore, because everything matters in some way, shape, or form. And I find that so cool. All right. Bonk. Bonk. Well, I think I'm just going to name that the video. Thaw frost boluses. Alleviates buildup of frost. Okay. I figured as much. I wasn't 100% sure. Oh, please. Not the jar. Anything but that. I promise I won't ever do it again. I swear, a living saint I'll surely be. Please, you must forgive me. Forgive me, please. Interesting. So, outside of the cages, are these living jars the active prison cells? Oh, great. What are the odds I live on this first descent via these clay pots? Or these jars, excuse me. Let's check out this area real quick. Ugh. That's insane. That's vile. Ugh. Oh, Jesus, that hurt. No, no, let go. Wait a minute. So is this like a lore to what is in these things? Interesting. I wonder if that is like, I'm curious if that is what we just saw is effectively kind of like a halfway point. Because we know, like, based in the first game, or based in the base game, excuse me, with Alexander, right, that he puts body parts into his pot or his jar. That's what makes him stronger, right? He essentially takes in and absorbs dead warriors. At least that's my understanding of it. I'm curious if what this just proved to us in some way was that is the halfway point. Essentially, if you take a living entity and put it in one of these jars, it will inevitably kind of meld into the innards. That's interesting. Well, I don't know. That's awesome to think about, though. So I see some jars moving over there. Oh man, did I not prepare? Did I not? If I was paying attention, I would have moved towards there. I don't think I can reach it otherwise. I'm sure there is a way back up. I may like loop around. I definitely don't think I can make that. Let's just go ahead and go down and see if we can find another way to come back through. Okay, we have... I may be able to reach that platform from this side. No? Okay. I will need to remember. Ugh. I'm interested. Maybe I just am not remembering correctly, but I don't remember Oh, now you run. Ugh. Die. Yes. Thank you. It almost looks like a heart in kind of the way it's shaped from the back. It becomes the heart of the jar. Interesting. What I was saying is maybe I'm misremembering, and I know there are definitely some like vile creatures in the base game, but I don't remember them being like this. I feel like, I mean, I kind of feel like, you know, FromSoft chose to get a little bit nasty with their design. As much as I, as much as it creeps me out, I do not hate it. It's creepy. It's creepy and gross and scares me, but very well designed nonetheless. Let's see what's around me before. Man, so many jars. Yeah, if I do not figure out the context for this dungeon, I'm really excited to see like all the lore explainers. I don't know about you guys. My like go-to lore is Vati. There are other plenty of lore videos I pick up in small pieces, but he is kind of like my go-to. And he's kind of my go-to. And I'm curious to see what he has to say about this. Yo, hey, let me know if there is any other lore content creators out there that you think I could benefit from. Let me know. I'd be happy to start expanding my horizons with different creators. So there, that's what I was saying earlier. I physically had a small heart attack. Did not sound like it. Lead with the shield out. Because I'm a chicken. I hear something sloshing around. Unfortunately, I wish sloshing was not the term I could use, but that is the most appropriate. This is the area I just opened up. Okay, okay. What am I missing? No. Me and this guy had the same idea, maybe. Am I tripping? Did I just not see this the first time? Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, that feels right. Creator Potentate's Cookbook 11. Nice. I need to get up because that's where the other items are. Let me get rid of you. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe I am looking too far into it, but right in that execution animation, it looks like the creature held its arms open, like, please, like, do this to me. You know, that phantom that gave us a little bit of monologue a second ago basically gave off the energy that, you know, this was a fate they in no way wanted to experience. And I'm curious if providing execution to these things is something that it wants to happen. Well, are you... You're just a frozen corpse? Okay. Maybe I pulled an item for... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I pulled an item from you earlier. Okay, let's navigate how to get on these jars. That's back to the first area. Oh, gosh. That gave me a heart attack. Innard meat. Yum. I did not catch what kind of item that was. Let's see if we can find it real quick. Yeah, here it is. Scraps of flesh for filling great jars. Rancorous spirits cling to the pinkish red twitching meat. Throw at enemies to inflict damage. This is what becomes of the condemned, who get sliced up and stuffed into jars to become saints instead. Interesting. So let's just kind of go off the top here with lore that I may or may not be accurate about. We know there's an Inquisition going on, right? We know, I'd have to assume Mesmer is leading the Inquisition. What I am curious about is typically, you know, Inquisition, I think in other words, I believe Inquisition is just another form for holy war. Maybe that is not correct. And I want to make sure I'm not using that word lightly. But when I think of Inquisition, you know, I think of like the Crusades. And again, I may be wrong, but I believe those are interchangeable terms, and that the Crusades, you know, the early Catholic Church moving through parts of Europe and North Africa and what we call the modern Middle East, or just what we call the Middle East today. And I know through those aspects or those historical points as well as other historical points in our actual history, right? There was ideas that pop up and existed and died out and existed in other formats where you take a quote unquote a sinner or quote unquote someone who's done something wrong in the eyes of the Inquisition or the Inquisition's authority, and through killing them, they are sanctified or saved, right? And that's, and I think right now I'm using a lot of like Christian-esque like understanding because that is like the historical reference I'm pulling from. I'm sure there are aspects like this in other religious slash just historical mythologies, narratives and histories. With all that being the case, I'm curious if Mesmer is having his Inquisition stuff the people here, chop them up, stuff them in here, and then having them essentially being that is their process of sanctification, right? That they're forgiven and made holy through the act of them becoming a great jar. Oh, I saw you walking over there. I'm not going back over there. What that makes me curious about, however, is in the timeline of this game, is this the birth of all great jars, right? Are all the jar people, do they always start out here and then become something else? Right? Do they always start here and this is like the origin for them all? Or is this specific to the realm of shadow? Thinker indeed. Disgusting. I hate it. Die. No, don't. Ugh. Leave me alone. Oh, you are bigger than everyone else. See, they have their arms up. Guys, catch that again. I'm going to look for it next time. Next time I stun one of those enemies, see if you believe me when I say they're holding their arms out like begging for the execution. It makes sense, especially if these people don't want to experience what's happening to them. Okay, so that's one way to go, or at least a pathway. This seems to be another. There's the fog gate, so the boss is right down there. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Shortcut. Maybe? Not a shortcut. Okay, hold on. See if I can stun him here. I'm gonna watch. That one didn't do it. Oh yeah, right there. Maybe it's that they're almost a heart. I do believe after looking at them again, I actually do think they're like morphing into like an anatomical heart. I think they're less. Oh, hold on. You stay right there. I feel like yeah, I'm going to say that they are not simply. That's incredible. A great jar which fits comfortably over the head when upturned. Attire of the shamans who perform their worship at goals. Increase the power of thrown pots of all sizes. They offer their prayers to the innards of the great jars such that they might be reborn one day into sainthood. This is the cycle of death and rebirth, taken into the hands of mortal men. Interesting. So maybe it's I still believe in the whole thing about the Inquisition, like sanctifying sinners and that concept. This is the cycle of death and rebirth taken into the hands of mortal men. Very interesting. I'll have to think on what this means in the greater context. But I do like this. Increase the power of thrown pots of all sizes. I'm interested. Maybe that. I wonder if that's a mechanic that they're going to introduce. I mean, okay. Now a mechanic isn't like we haven't been able to throw pots before, because we absolutely have been. But it definitely seems like they're introducing, you know, a build that's just like, you just want to do this? You want to like throw pots as like a main game mechanic? Very interesting. Okay, and that brings me back down. Okay, very nice. All right, very worthwhile trip. The only thing that I'm not sure about here is I'm not 100% aware of my relationship to the start point. I feel like this is a crazy boss run back, assuming I don't make it. I mean, it is quite possible I missed a grace. We'll see. Ooh, hello. Oh my god. That happened so fast. Okay, we are going to summon before we walk in. Interesting what a demi-human's down here. I'm curious to... I guess I can't summon when I'm down here. Duh, you have to summon inside the zone. I guess the answer is be faster. Okay, let's... Ooh, no, let me go. This guy does serious damage. Holy shit. No. Yeah. Man, dude was scooting. Demi-human swordsman Yosh. Dude, what's up, man? That was that was awesome. Let me see. What do we know about you? Oh. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell. Use to summon spirit of Yosh, the demi-human swordsman. Owns a master swordsman who devoted himself to the star-lined sword. Realized that only ruin awaited at the end of the procession of stars, and imprisoned himself in order to forestall it. However, Yosh, an apprentice who absorbed his technique, stubbornly refused to heed his master's words, and spent entire his life at his side in defiance of his self-imposed seclusion. That's incredible. I wouldn't mind leveling him up. He just, the way he moved was, I think what helped me there was the build. Clearly he didn't have tons of poise. He had plenty. He did move through some of my hits, but just the way he moved was so fast. And that like explosion he did, like the multi-cut anime slash explosion was something else. I mean, I'm so glad I found this cave. That added so much value to this area, man. All right. So I want to go back here, the castle front, but I do want to peel back in this direction and see where that goes. Bonk. So last time we went down there. Now I want to make my way up this way. I'm not messing with you guys. Actually, you know what? Let's go. Oh no, this is the guys that fucked me up a video ago. Excuse me. Maybe I'm wrong, but the outfit these guys wear give me strong like Viking vibes. Maybe not in the way that like modern media portrays like Viking aesthetic, but from what I can recall of like more historical attire from what we understand of Vikings, I feel like these characters more represent that. Maybe I'm way off base and that's not accurate, but that is kind of the vibe I'm getting from these characters, which is extremely cool. Okay, we have another cross over here. So let's go see what that is about. And then we'll peel back and again make our way up towards, I believe there's a tower at the top and the grace. So I do not believe we have met you yet. Scattered tree fragment. Carved words coalesce. I abandon here a part of the flesh of my body.
Oh, hello there. Are you the Tarnished? Lady Leda spoke of you. Another Tarnished. Guided here by Mikola the Kind. My name is Teolia. I too am Tarnished. And here on kindly Mikola's account. So, well, here's to new beginnings, I suppose.
Cheers, mate.
I'm sorry. But, well, I'm not much good at anything is all. I'm as weak as a kitten and thick as two planks. I've always been this way, since the very day I was born. I'm afraid the only thing I'm proficient in is poison. Sorry.
I don't think that's bad at all. Poison can absolutely devastate in this world. Okay, cool. So perfume bottles, the way you get different kinds is just a whole list of different perfume bottles. That's so cool. So what I had is fire, and these are toxic. Let's go ahead and buy these. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I'm not 100% sure. I might do a build just to experiment and like play around. Let's go ahead and have them on deck. Interesting. All right.
Just give me the word if you need any more poison.
Thanks. Empyrean Blood Virgin. Right, let's head up the hill. I want to make sure I kind of see all that I can see and make a quick pass as I go up. I bet these things are kind of like the jellyfish, where if you hit them or in any way aggro them, they will do damage to you. I am not. I have no reason to.
The pain. My arms, my legs, each lies a bloody ruin. The pain. The exquisite pain. Bale! Vile Bale! Oh, terror incarnate! There is life in me yet! I will soon feast upon your heart! Mark my words! You too shall know fear!
Well, whoever the voice actor is, 10 out of 10. That was incredible. Fear incarnate. I wonder who he is referring to. I mean, he said the name of the entity. I just have no context. Who that enemy is. Okay, I do want to make my way up first. Will you disappear if I rest? Actually, I do want to see her. Hold on.
Please, no more. I am sorry. I repent. Please spare me your cruelty. Please spare me.
You are going through it, my guy.
Please.
Okay.
No more. Spare
Interesting. I'm curious who he's referring to. I'm sure it's some awful something. All right, nice. Got the bracelets. See if I can get a better look at the pathway that the guy was on. It doesn't look to be anything too drastic. Ooh. Birds and dogs, I'll say it. All the other enemies, no matter how many times they kick my ass, they're cool. Birds and dogs just suck. Oh my gosh. Leave me alone. Go to hell. Ooh, no, 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 no. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate them. All the other enemies. Amazing. Cool. Difficult. And I love it. Birds and dogs? Nah. Is it any different? Or are we just gonna cycle? Yeah, okay. Suppressing pillar. I don't feel good about whatever is here. I guess that's how this game does, right? This game ensures that you never really feel good about anything. The very center of the lands between. All manners of death wash up here, only to be suppressed. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Very center of the lands between. So does this, do I take this as saying that yes, everything that dies in the lands between, it all makes its way here? Man, get our first really good view of the scope of this whole place. All right, everyone. I think we are going to go ahead and stop there for this video. I really enjoyed what I was able to experience today. I feel like at this point, there's almost like a vile creature of the episode. And this is definitely those jar heart homunculi things. Extremely creepy. However, just their existence really adds such a complexity to the lore. And I love it. It's phenomenal design through and through. I'm really excited for the rest of this playthrough. Next, we are going to head down this tower and down the path that NPC was on. They referenced something named Bale, and I guess that is kind of the pathway we are going to adventure down. Curious to see what that leads to. Besides that, guys, if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, share. Are you enjoying this game? Are you enjoying my Let's Try? Are you playing the game? How's your experience? Let me know. Any kind of builds I should check out? Anything I should be aware of? Is the game too hard? I don't think it is. At least not yet. I will probably eat those words sooner than later. We'll see. I really don't have anything to say. Check out the lo-fi song made by my best friend DiscoValkyrie. I'm putting it at the end of the video. Besides that, peace.